Good morning. Welcome everybody to day one of ISE here in Amsterdam. Absolutely delighted to have with me today Stephanie Gutnik, who is the new, I believe, because it's a new job title, Director of Business Development at Broadsign.
That's right.
Stephanie, let me ask you a couple of questions. You've been to this show many, many times now. Getting better as well as bigger for you think, at Broadsign?
Absolutely. First and foremost, the Hall 8 for digital signage has expanded. So we're seeing a growth in our own industry amongst a show that's growing in itself, which speaks highly of where we're moving. And Broadsign has also grown our booth, as well as the products that we're demoing at our booth. So every year, yes, it definitely gets busier for us and for our partners.
Now, Broadsign are one of those companies that really spend their marketing budget wisely. I think you and I spoke about this when we were in New York a couple of months ago. So you choose your shows carefully. ISE's been on your agenda for how many years now?
A few years now, and ISE has actually become our second biggest show globally. It's where we get to meet with our European and Middle Eastern customers.
Okay, do you split your shows in terms of where you have a stand? So you're here with the big stand, I'll talk about that in a second. DSE, you're big at in Las Vegas in March, I think it is. Mm-hmm. But then you do CES, you go to Cannes. Yeah. How do you split those shows down?
Well, those shows are really tough, as you know. But we definitely don't exhibit just yet. Cannes we did for the first time in 2016. Same with CES. And we started doing those because, as you know, Broadsign really focuses on digital out-of-home. We definitely service other verticals, but ad-based is where we're moving in terms of our new products. And it's definitely important for us to get to know the sales teams of the media owners that we service, as well as the advertisers who are running their campaigns on these screens.
Okay, now we've heard of a couple of new products that might be coming out from Broadsign in Q1. We thought that we may have seen them today at this show, but we haven't seen them. So is that something you're going to announce at DSE?
It's not something that we're officially launching just yet, but we've been working on them for a couple of years now, and we've been quiet because we wanted to do waves with our customers as well as with prospects to make sure that we were building exactly the tools that they needed. But it all focuses on expanding our automated solutions for digital out-of-home. So for over 10 years, we've offered an automated content management system, and that definitely helps operations departments scale. But when we started talking to the sales departments of our customers, we realized that they were still using Excel sheets, or spreadsheets, I should say, which is the problem that we set out to solve from the get-go with our CMS. So we looked at it and we said, there's something that we can do here to help scale and to help make buying digital out of home that much easier than it has been known for.
So we can expect that the products that you will launch are going to be ERP type products, is that right?
Yeah, the products, they're going live in Q1, and you can actually come to our booth at this show and demo them. One is called Broadsign Serve Direct, and that is very much automation for direct sales teams. So we can look at available inventory in real time, generate proposals in a snap. And then the other is Broadsign Serve SSP, which the goal is to open our space up to buyers that haven't been used to purchasing it before.
Okay. Now we all know in the digital signage industry that the best digital signage software comes from Canada. You're a smallish Canadian company in many respects, but you have this tremendous reach. I mean, North American people would know you really well.
Right.
You've got, I think, pretty much all of the ad-based companies in the UK. But what's been surprising, I think, the last 3 months is the growth you've had in continental Europe. So you've had some stuff in Russia and some other stuff in Turkey.
Yeah.
Tell us a little bit about the new wins that you've had on this side of the pond.
Absolutely. So the great thing about Broadsign is, yes, we're based in Montreal, which is just a hotbed for developing technology, digital signage, AR. But we have a phenomenal Vice President of Global Sales. This is also relatively new, Martin Delavitt, who's been with the company for many years now. And he's really focused on building a super strong team in Europe. And his team has gone out there and spread the Broadsign gospel and education. And because of that, yeah, we've had some very strong wins over the past couple of months. As you mentioned, digital billboards in Moscow, Core Out of Home, which is in Turkish shopping malls. They used to be Clear Channel Turkey. We've had 2 very big retail wins in France, one for Auchan and one for Carrefour, which are global retailers. And then our most recent win, which we announced last week, was a conversion to our platform of over 600 screens in elevators in the United Arab Emirates.
Yes, absolutely, some real tremendously good wins. Now, tell us about programmatic as well, because you've been on various councils and workshops and things around the globe on programmatic, and you've sort of become a little bit of an expert in the area. Tell us what Broadsign's plans might be in the programmatic buying space, if you can.
Well, we made the joke a little bit earlier that I could talk about programmatic digital out of home as much as I could talk about shoes. So in a nutshell, the way that I view programmatic in our space is very much the automation of workflows based on data. And it's been a long road. We've been talking about it as an industry for years. And in the beginning, media owners were quite hesitant to engage because they saw falling CPMs and digital programmatic, and that's the last thing that we want to bring into our space. But on the other hand, we also know that our space only garners, 4% of global ad spend? And if we have any hope of raising that number, it's not going to be by taking from classic out of home. It's going to be by taking from digital and mobile. So that's what we're working on, and we're working on customizing these programmatic workflows so that they mimic what happens in digital, making it easy for buyers to understand, but at the same time making it fair for media owners so that, for example, they're not just paid for one impression when their screens generate multiple times of that.
How involved are you in the DPAA standard committee stuff for programmatic in the US?
Absolutely, we're involved. What programmatic also solves is a very big and real issue by agencies that when they want to include digital out of home in their campaigns, they might have to approach 6 or a dozen different media owners to obtain proposals and to execute amongst tons of different sizes of displays. And then at the end, they receive a bunch of different proof of performance reports and have to make sense of it all. So with programmatic, if we do this right, buyers will be able to access a lot of media owners in one place. And that's why it's very important for vendors to be involved in these types of standards committees.
Okay. Well, my last question could be about shoes, but it's not going to be about shoes. Let me throw you a little bit of a curveball. In terms of the events that you do, the CES and New York Digital Signage Week, you don't do InfoComm, but DSE and ISE. Is there some show, is there something that you think the industry is missing that you could go to and do some marketing to the people that you really need to reach? Is it missing something, or are you covered with all the shows and events that happen in a year, do you think?
I think in terms of the industry, and everybody acknowledges that, is we're still quite used to being a very niche industry, and we talk to each other about the problems that we face and what we wish other people would do just to make everything that much easier. But we forget that we need to be including others in this conversation. So I think it's very much on us to go find the verticals that we want to operate and grow in and educate them about how to make it easy to successfully incorporate digital signage into their initiatives.
Brilliant. Stephanie Gutnik, thank you very much.